How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the shop. So today I have the first knife I ever created. It's made out of mystery steel, meaning I have no idea what's in it. It's got one of the worst heat treatments you can think of. It's got super glue holding it together. Overall, not great, but it was my first one, so I can't be too hard on myself. But today I have a piece of Dama steel. Now this is pattern welded stainless steel designed for knives, and so this one will take an edge and hold an edge really well. So I'm going to be remaking the first knife I ever made with today's skills out of Dama steel. Let's get started. So the first thing is to trace out the knife, and I'm going to make some slight changes. So I'm going to rebuild the tip. On the first knife I burnt the tip off when I was grinding it, and I'm also going to smooth out the radiuses inside the handle. I'm sketching and cutting two knives out of this billet because this steel is anything but cheap. Now I'm profiling the knife after rough cutting it on my bandsaw. I'm using my small wheel attachment to make sure all the radiuses in the handle are nice and smooth. As I drill out the holes on the new one, let's talk about the arrows on the old knife. So as you can see, there's a big gap forming on the back of the scales because it was all held together with super glue. The scales themselves are anything but smooth and rather asymmetrical. Right on the front of the scales, on the bolster area, there's a really uneven finish because I was experimenting and I didn't know what I was doing. There's rust forming, there's a big crack in the spine. The heat treatment is terrible, but I will get into that a little bit later. So here you can see the profiles of them two together. The new blade I'm wrapping in heat treatment foil, which protects it from oxidizing as I heat my kiln to 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm putting it in liquid nitrogen to cryogenically treat them, and I am tempering them at a set temperature to reach the desired hardness. Now, the first blade, I hung mid-air and tried to heat it up evenly with a propane torch, which I was very unsuccessful. I quenched it in canola oil, but it resulted in a knife that was hard in parts and soft in others. Once I clean up all the decarb off the knife, I am grinding the bevels before I get to the most tedious part, which is hand sanding the bevels. I hand sand the bevels up to 2500 grit, and then I buff them so I can bring the blade up to a mirror finish before etching. On my first knife I had Paduke scales, so I'm using Paduke wood again, but this time I'm making sure everything's perfectly flat so I don't get any gaps appearing like last time. As I get the knife ready for drilling out the pinholes, this time instead of using nails which rusted, I'm using proper stainless steel pin stock. After I clean up all the different parts, it's time for glue up. So I put some tape down, spread out some 2-part epoxy, which is a lot stronger than super glue, and I start gluing everything together. I made sure to make all the clamps snug, but not overly tight. Now it's time to shape the handle, so I make sure everything's flush and square, and I start grinding down the bolsters for pinch grip, as well as hollowing out a recess in the back of the handle for your ring and your pinky finger to sit in. After I get done with rough shaping, I shape it more on a combination of 1x and 2x scalloped belts to round it over. As I flip back and forth from a mirror finish to rather rough, from a properly hardened blade to a not so hardened blade, the difference between these knives is night and day.